Hey, welcome back to Danford Golf Instruction. Today we're going to talk about some swing changes that we have to make due to some limitations that our body has. So I'm going to give you some ways to help you hit the ball further, basically turn better, just by how we set up and some limitations that I come across a lot, and easy ways that you can get around that so you can still play your best. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, leave us a like, thumbs up. We appreciate all the support that you guys are giving us. And all right, the number one issue that I come across with people's body and their limitations is the internal rotation of the right and left hip. Right, so we see a lot of pros set up with their feet really square, and that's great for them because they have the internal rotation, because they're extremely flexible and they're just really gifted athletes. The average man, especially as you get older, your hips get tighter, right? And if you have back problems, there's a good chance that your hips are way too tight, so that actually affects your lumbar spine. All right, so one thing that we're gonna do to take pressure off of your hips, off of your back, is what we do with our feet. So the number one change that we're gonna make is when you set up to it, instead of that back foot being straight, you're going to let the toe go open. All right, what that automatically does, it helps you have more internal rotation into your hip. All right, so you're going to be able to turn into your hip more. You're going to be able to turn your hips more, which automatically, the greater hip turn you have, easier it is for you to get a full shoulder turn. Okay, so that the rotating the toe out helps turn your hips more, gets you a greater shoulder rotation, and that in turn is going to lead into what we talk about next. Most of us really struggle with, again, it's going to be internal shoulder rotation. So the ability to basically go 90-90 and roll your shoulder back greater. We see a lot of people, especially if you have rotator cuff issues, where they can't actually reach back. They stay kind of there, they try to go back. Okay? And so what that swing issue usually leads to is when they get to the top, you see that elbow out there, and you see the club lean way across the line. Okay, so what we're going to do to help you with that is, by getting that toe to rotate out, it gets you greater shoulder rotation, greater hip turn, and so when you get to the top, even if your shoulder's out a little bit, it's going to help you not be flying quite as much, because everything's going to be bigger, so you're going to rely on your shoulders and your arms less to get the club all the way to the top. The other thing that I want you to do, if you really struggle with that rotation, is you got to make your backswing smaller. So automatically, if you try to go larger, have a longer backswing, that arm's going to fly out there. So toe that toe out, take it to the top, and just make it smaller. If you have a full shoulder rotation, let's say 90 degrees, 45, 45, all right, you don't have to try to get the club further up. All right, that's just going to cause issues. All right, so that's two ways that we can make our body work a little bit better just by what we do. All right, the last one is the left hip, which is your ability to rotate through, ability to post up. Again, a lot of pros kind of do it toe forward, but you're going to see when they finish, it actually just slides out for them. All right, so we're going to start with it. All right, you can go anywhere from 25 to 45 degrees open with your left foot. All right, so both feet are going to feel like they're kind of toed out a little bit, which will feel a little bit strange, especially if you've been working on trying to have the perfect foot position. So you're going to take it to the top, full shoulder turn, right? And then when you come through, that leg and that hip are going to be able to rotate, takes pressure off your back, helps you finish more, all right? And it'll also help you stay on balance more, because if you are really limited here and you try to finish there, you're going to find yourself kind of falling all over the place. All right, so foot position, shorten the backswing. Those are some simple ways that if you have some body limitations, which these are some of the most common ones that I come across, will help you hit the ball better, be more consistent.